Well, a very good afternoon to you and welcome to Joy Newsroom. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlimle, and we are live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. My name is Sheila Sechi. Our headlines this hour: Benin Armed Forces thwart attempted coup in the West African country, as the government says it is still in control after soldiers announced a takeover on national television.
Some military spoke on a television in Benin, Cotonou, the capital, and they said that the president was ousted and replaced by a military with the establishment of a salvation organization committee.
And 5 policemen assaulted with 3 of their service weapons taken by an angry mob in Sawi community in the Upper West region. More shortly, as the Upper West Regional Police Command arrests 9 suspects and gives community leaders a 24-hour ultimatum to help recover 2 rifles still missing. Anti-Galamsey Task Force uncovers major destruction in Etiwa Forest with minors rescued. Details as 9 Chinese nationals engaged in the menace have been arrested in the Western North. Remember, we are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay with us for details. Thanks for your company this afternoon. Now to a very first story. Let's go to Benin, where soldiers in Benin say they have removed President Patrice Talon from power, announcing the takeover on national television. The statement declared the suspension of the constitution, the closure of all land borders, and the shutdown of the country's airspace. The soldiers justified their actions by accusing President Talon of poor governance. The French embassy in Benin confirmed reports of gunfire near the president's residence in Cotonou and has advised French nationals to remain indoors. But in the last few minutes, Al Jazeera has been reporting that Benin's Interior Minister Alassane Seydou says the country's armed forces have thwarted an attempted coup. His statement came after soldiers appeared on state television and announced the removal of President Patrice Talon, the closure of borders, and suspension of political parties. Former communication director of ECOWAS, Adam Magaye, has been narrating the incident to Al Jazeera.
What we know is that in neighboring Benin, because I'm very close to Benin, I'm speaking to you from Ghana, military attacked the house of the president, who is Mr. Patrice Talon, and there were heavy gunfire shot against his house. And we saw also some military who spoke on a television in Benin, Cotonou, the capital, and they said that the president was ousted and replaced by a military with the establishment of a salvation organization committee to take over the reign of the country. The problem is, this is not something that surprised anybody, because we have been hearing a lot of tension in that country. Some of the opposition members have been arrested for years and maintained in jail by the president in place, Talon. And also, there is a process towards the new election next year or 2027 to replace him in power. He has already designated somebody to take over from him, from his party, his current Minister of Finance, who is Mr. Romuald Wadani, and he had managed to eliminate key people from the leading opposition party of former President Mr. Yayi Boni. So there was really a lot of tension within the country, and even there had been a coup attempt by close friends of the outgoing president. So nobody is surprised that the military came out and tried to do this attempted coup. It is not new in Benin. In the 1970s, Benin was known for a hub of military coup.
Adama, the thing here is also, I mean, as you mentioned, Patrice Talon was due to step down the next presidential election, slated for April, and his replacement, or his nomination for his replacement anyway, was already set. So, I mean, with the idea that he was going to be stepping down in just a few months, it must be a surprise that the military or factions within the military have acted in this way.
Yes, because, of course, everybody had the feeling that it was going to be a smooth transition, because really, in economic terms, in terms of infrastructure, Benin Republic was doing marvelous. It was achieving great strides towards its economic development. Myself, I was supposed to go after tomorrow to meet key business people interested in distribution of petroleum products in West Africa coming from Europe. But this is no longer possible. Why this has happened? Maybe the fact that actually this transition from Mr. Talon to a newly elected president next year was not seen as something as genuine. People believe that is the Medvedev-Putin type of transition, where Mr. Talon will put a figurehead in his place and continue running the show from behind the scene. So this is something, this fake type of democracy that may have prompted the military to stage this coup. Whether they will succeed or not is early to say, because only what we know is that they've tried. Will they succeed? It is not new in West Africa.
Well, that's the latest happening in Benin. Now, a routine police operation to calm rising communal tensions escalated on Friday, resulting in the assault of 5 police officers and the seizure of 3 service weapons by an angry mob in the Sawi community in the Upper West region. The Upper West Regional Police Command has since deployed additional personnel, arrested 9 suspects, and issued a 24-hour ultimatum to local leaders to help retrieve 2 rifles still unaccounted for. There is more in this report.
According to police seed rep, the incident began at 3:40 p.m. when the Jirapa Municipal Police proceeded to Sanwie community to investigate a complaint regarding threats to burn the houses of nomadic herdsmen, which has been a long-standing source of conflict in the area. The municipal commander, ASP George Doe, led a team of 4 other ranks with the intention of inviting local and opinion leaders for a crucial dialogue aimed at preventing intercommunal violence. However, upon arrival, the unarmed outrage quickly turned into a violent confrontation. The police team was met and violently confronted and attacked by approximately 30 members of the community, resulting in serious injuries to the officers. The assailants compounded the attack by forcibly disarming the police and making off with 3 AK-47 and 1 pistol. In immediate response to the assaults and loss of service weapons, the regional police commander, DCOP Francis Jirapa, immediately ordered a large-scale mobilization. A detailed search operation was launched, focusing on recovering the stolen arsenal. The search led to the recovery of 1 AK-47 without a magazine and 1 pistol. 2 AK-47 and 1 magazine belonging to the service remain unaccounted for, posing a significant security concern if they fall into the wrong hands. Further swoop operation within the community resulted in the swift arrest of 9 suspects, who were found hiding under beds or actively attempting to flee the area. In addition to the suspects, the police retrieved several items abandoned by other members of the mob, indicating their involvement in illegal activities. 3 locally manufactured guns, 2 motorbikes, 1 tricycle, and 3 deep freezers and 1 tabletop fridge were seized. The suspects and the retrieved items were transported to the War Regional Headquarters for further interrogation and comprehensive investigations into the assaults and the weapons thefts. In a move to recover the remaining weapons and ensure accountability, DCOP Jirapa engaged directly with the chief and the assembly member of Sawi community.
Now, the Deputy Director of Operations of the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, Lieutenant Colonel Joshua Satikla, has identified interference from influential individuals and a critical lack of logistics as major obstacles in the fight against illegal mining. Addressing the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives in the Western Region, Lieutenant Colonel Satekla announced that NIMOS is scheduled to deploy its first contingent of 50 officers to the region in the coming days. The MMDCEs have expressed support for the new collaborative framework with NIMOS.
They stated the role that has to be played by the various MMDCs and all this. And we are with the people. And we know all the hotspots and all this. So I think going forward, the collaboration between NIMOS and the MMDCs will be a better, solution in resolving the galamsey menace in the country.
So the coming of NIMOS will beef up the momentum. So we really appreciate it. The collaboration will be very effective.
I understand that one of the stations is going to be at my place. And I'm happy because it will help for us to make sure that we do our daily rounds. And then it's not that you go today, tomorrow the galamseyers will come back. This one, they are going to be stationed there and it's going to help us a lot.
Now, still on the fight against illegal mining, NIMOS operatives extended their nationwide anti-illegal mining campaign into the Western region on 6 December 2025, delivering one of the most decisive blows yet to illicit mining networks operating near the Biak River in the Swaman-Dadieso district. A 31-member task force entered the Kwabena, Lante and Siobo operational zones in the late mornings and worked deep into the night. Almost immediately, officers uncovered a vast illegal mining concession hidden within dense vegetation close to the Biak River. Evidence at the scene showed operators had been tipped off ahead of time. The operation intensified at a suburb of Dadieso, known locally as Niger, where intelligence unexpectedly surfaced from an abandoned mobile phone left behind by a fleeing suspect. Using the unlocked device, NIMOS uncovered communications linked to a contact saved as Boss Lee on the WhatsApp platform. These exchanges pointed to direct coordination by foreign nationals. Acting on this critical lead, operatives tracked and apprehended 9 Chinese nationals, all male, and escorted them to multiple sites for on-ground collaboration of their involvement. During the course of the operation, NIMOS seized key equipment and materials used to sustain illegal mining activities. These include 2 excavator filters, a techno smartphone, a water pumping machine, a mini car washing machine used for mineral processing, a bottle containing a small quantity of mercury, and a motorbike used to support movement between forested sites. Each item was secured and removed from the operational zone. Now, the Presbyterian Church of Ghana has cautioned religious leaders to stay away from galamsey, describing it as a major threat destroying the nation's ecological foundations. Speaking at the 4th Republic National Lecture in Accra, themed Living Ecologically, Just a Biblical Response to Ecological Threats, moderator of the General Assembly, retired Reverend Dr. Abraham Nana Opare-Kwache, explained that some church leaders have been implicated in illegal mining activities, stressing that protecting nature is an act of biblical stewardship and any leader who destroys the environment is committing an injustice. Here is Ramat Bashir's report, read to you.
The Presbyterian Church of Ghana has organized its 4th Public National Lecture, cautioning religious leaders and Christians to abstain from activities that destroy the environment. Moderator of the General Assembly, Right Reverend Dr. Abraham Nana Opare-Kwache, urged Christians and religious leaders to act responsibly and demonstrate true stewardship by protecting the environment. Safeguarding God's creation is a duty every believer must uphold.
Even churches are relying on galamsey. This is a no, no, no. We will condemn with all the power and authority that we have every believer, every Christian, every Ghanaian who is involved in galamsey. It is wrong and they should stop it. But for those who are within our church, we would be able to use the internal processes to handle them when we identify them. But for those outside the church, who we do not have any internal authority over, we would ask that church leaders should also come together so that we all deal with such people, whether they are agents or not. We need to repair this country.
Following the moderator's call, environmental journalist Erasto Sasari Donko emphasized that the fight against Galamsey requires stronger collaboration among religious institutions, adding that united pressure on government is necessary to secure the political will needed to end the menace.
Currently, the political will is at the lowest ebb. And we should, as Christian leaders, I'm expecting not the Presbyterian Church alone, but the Methodists, the Anglican and other institutions, even the Muslims, should come together and impress upon leadership of this country to do something about what is going on. Churches must take active role. They must speak the truth to their members of the effects of Galamsey. We'll be getting somewhere.
As concerns deepen over the environmental damage caused by Galamsey, both the church and advocacy groups say the movement demands moral leadership. To them, protecting the nation's natural resources is a shared responsibility, one that begins with those who preach stewardship and ends with collective action to secure Ghana's ecological future. Ramat Basiru's report for Joy News.
Now, the Minerals Development Fund has launched an environmentally sustainable mining initiative to reduce water and land degradation in small-scale mining. The MDF Modular Sustainable Mining Turnkey Initiative employs green technologies, closed-loop water recycling, and mercury-free gold processing methods. Administrator of the Minerals Development Fund, Dr. Hannah Louisa Bisiu, revealed that the initiative is expected to reduce the negative impact of small-scale mining on the environment. She spoke at the launch of the Royce Gold Eco-Dig Modular Sustainable Mining Site in the Ahafo region, the first of MDF's Modular Sustainable Mining Turnkey initiatives to be employed all over the country. There is more in this report.
The first MDF Modular Sustainable Mining Turnkey Initiative site is built on an already mined area with parts of the destroyed land reclaimed for the project. Mining areas at the site are selected based on geological survey conducted by experts. Once the layout is finalized, contractors set up all necessary amenities for operations. Tailing dams are constructed with filtration systems where filters are mounted in canals to clean the water used in washing gold deposits. Recycled water is pumped from the dams, which also support boreholes for the mining activities. The process eliminates the use of mercury and cyanide. James Opoku is Chief Executive Officer of Lion King Engineering and Mining Support Services.
We take maximum 90% of the goods because after mining, the processing, we go through a shaking board process. The shaking board process will separate the sand from the goods. After that, the other sand is not thrown away. We put it through a heating method, through a high temperature level. You see, gold is easy to melt, but sand cannot melt. So through that heating method, the gold will start melting from the sand.
The small-scale mining sector has been a government priority due to illegal activities by some miners which threaten environmental sustainability. Dr. Hannah Louisa Bisiu is administrator of the Minerals Development Fund.
The MDF Modular Sustainable Mining Turnkey Initiative embodies the future of small-scale mining in Ghana. It introduces a model that is eco-friendly, efficient, and socially responsible. In accordance with the MDF mandate to redress the negative impact of mining in mining communities in Ghana, the MDF, through its Modular Sustainable Mining Turnkey Initiative, is implementing the beginning of a permanent solution to Ghana's most pressing challenge.
The Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners has expressed interest in replicating the technology at various mining sites.
I want to stand or state clearly to the government of Ghana that the small-scale miners are willing and ready to prepare and accept the initiative of the MDF that has brought us this far. We prefer a solution that is designed for Ghana.
For Joy News, Nana Yaojima, Ahafu Region.
Now, the Banda District Chief Executive Peter Dongi has charged schools in the district to take a keen interest in training students in modern farming practices to build their interest in agriculture and contribute to sustainable food security. Speaking at the 41st District Farmers' Day celebration in Dobo, where 2 schools were also honored for their involvement in farming, he assured the schools of improved support with fertilizer and other inputs to boost school farms and contribute to the country's economic growth. There is more in this report.
The 41st Farmers' Day celebration in the Banda district on the theme Feed Ghana, Eat Ghana, Secure the Future brought farmers, students and community leaders together in Dobo. The ceremony highlighted farmers as the backbone of Ghana's economy and underscored the importance of youth participation in agriculture to ensure sustainable food security. Awards were presented to various categories of winners, including best performing basic and junior high schools engaged in farming to encourage self-reliance. Bao DA Junior High School won the best JHS in farming award in the district. Emmanuel Okra is the assistant head teacher.
We have involved the students into the agriculture so that if they are able to complete the school and they are having no job to do, they can employ themselves into the agriculture sector. We are bringing the agriculture, that is the agri-officers, into the system. So we will teach the students how to plant. We want to increase the size of our school farm. We need some small help from the government. Even the district assembly can also come to our aid.
The overall Best District Farmer Award went to 42-year-old Fred Kwejosie, who cultivates yams, maize, coconuts, oranges, and over 110 acres of cashew, and also rears livestock. He received a motor tricycle, fertilizers, and other prizes. He appealed to the assembly to address the long-standing farming challenges. Our main challenge is the lack of water. Sometimes when we plant, and if it doesn't rain, then we run at a loss. We also don't have money sometimes to buy fertilizer for planting. So authorities should help the youth with irrigation and fertilizer in Banda. Banda District Chief Executive Peter Dongi assured support for school farms to help attract more young people into agriculture.
As well as we have awarded them today, you will see after next term how every school may intend to have a school farm. And the moment they have a school farm, the district assembly and then the agri department, we are going to join hands and then support them in terms of fertilizers and other things, the input and the initiative of the president. We are going to support all the schools to have school farms. Even the school feeding program we have in the various schools. If the school have their own farm, grow and then feed yourself, not to depend on our foreign nations to feed us. And for that matter, it may aid well for our economic growth as a country.
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Dobo, Banda.
And now to Techiman, where the municipality's hardest working farmers were honored. A powerful mandate resonated far beyond the awards. The future of Techiman and Ghana itself depends on a conscious return to what we grow and what we consume. With a united front of traditional leaders, politicians and agricultural experts, the 2025 National Farmers' Day became a compelling launchpad for a local economic revolution, championing food sovereignty as the only path to a secured and self-sufficient tomorrow. Anna Sabit reports.
The 2025 National Farmers' Day celebrations have been held across the country, and in the Bono East region, the Techiman Municipal Assembly turned the event into a powerful manifesto for the future. The ceremony held here in Kramwa isn't just about awards, it is a gathering of the architects for our food security. Under this canopy sat the traditional leaders, the politicians, the agricultural officers, and most importantly, the men and women who worked the land. The theme, Feed Ghana, Eat Ghana, Secure the Future, was the drumbeat for every speech. The municipal chief executive, Kwaku Eje Mensah, didn't mince words.
The team is saying that we should develop taste for our locally produced food, like rice, like the poultry and other things. Then we are saying grow Ghana. What it means is we also have to make sure we see agriculture as a viable venture. Our youth should see agric as a business entity that they can use it as their vocation.
But the call to Feed Ghana comes with a responsibility to support those who do the growing. The Municipal Director of Agriculture, Stephen Adu, stressed that empowerment is key.
Nana Chairman, Feed Ghana is more than a slogan. It is a call for deliberate action. This means giving farmers timely access to quality seeds, fertilizers, irrigation, and extension services while improving storage facilities and reducing post-harvest losses.
Member of Parliament for Techiman South, Martin J. Mensah Kosa, amplified this, acknowledging the farmers' struggles and calling for sustained support.
Our farmers have been the backbone of our country, our economy. They continue to work under serious sacrifices, difficult conditions, yet they make ends meet for a country that is dependent on them. They feed us, they create jobs for us, and then we make money out of farming. We are only hoping that government will make the necessary investment commensurate with the gains that we make out of farming. And we should also take advantage of the ever-changing technological advancement to transform our agriculture and make sure that we add more modern trends to it.
And at the heart of it all are individuals like Ayaba Wini, this year's municipal best farmer. For him, this recognition is fuel.
I've been in farming more than 14 years. I have nothing benefited about farming. I have nothing profit that gives me money than farming. So I'm just pleading that every youth in Techiman municipality, they should involve in farming.
So from Kramwa today, the message is a cycle. Feed Ghana, eat Ghana to secure Ghana. It is a simple formula, but one that requires a collective national will. It is about the choice in our markets and the support for our farmers, all to ensure that the future is not just fed, but secure and self-determined. Reporting from Kramwa, my name is Anas Sabit for Joy News.
Now, 40 years after graduation, the Imranti alumni have returned not just to reminisce, but to invest, transforming the vast arable land of Nkranza into a hub for commercial farming. With the full backing of the local traditional authority and a strategic national partnership, they are trading old school ties for new agricultural ventures, aiming to tackle youth unemployment and write a new chapter of growth for the community. Anab Sabit reports.
They were classmates over 4 decades ago, part of the 1984-86 Mrantie year group of the Kumasi Senior High School. Life took them on different paths, but a reunion 2 years ago rekindled an old flame, not just of friendship, but of a shared vision for community and investment. Now they've gathered again, not for mere nostalgia, but to build a future. Their new mission, to make Nkranza their second home and transform its green fields into golden opportunities. Led by Nana Isaac Kodom, a native of Nkranza, the group took their ambitious plans directly to the palace. Their pitch, to leverage the area's vast arable land for large-scale commercial agriculture, starting with maize.
For all these years,
that you've been able to stay together is a sign of the strong unity that exists between yourselves. Paramount Chief of the Nkranza Traditional Area, Nana Kwame Bafo IV, welcomed the initiative, noting that Nkranzaman is ready to grant them the necessary lands and is full support to establish the kind of investments that put the youth to work and fight poverty from the roots. What is more important for us is development and employment opportunities, and as the President stated during the
engage in farming.
So I want to encourage you, and Nkranza is land, and so we urge you to not doing it alone. The group has secured a strategic partnership with the Green Belt Company, which is already working with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to revamp maize production nationwide.
God being good, one of our members happened to be a part or a consultant to a new company that we call Green Belt Company. They are teaming up with the Ministry of Agri. They want to revamp maize farming to such a extent that Ghana will be a net exporter of maize. And so what Nana talked about in 2 years' time, it seems like it is coming to life.
And their retreat was holistic. Between investment talks, they committed to personal well-being with health walks and attended lectures on future financial planning, ensuring their own security as they work to secure the future of their new second home. Their message to other investors is clear.
One of the major, if not the main problem facing Nkranzaman, and I want to believe it's not only Nkranzaman, but the whole of Ghana, is youth unemployment. And so any venture that will provide avenues and opportunities for the youth to have a job is a welcome venture. It's a clarion call to any potential investor or anyone who wants to engage in farming to look at Nkranza. Because Nkranza provides a huge potential.
So from the shared memories of their youth in Kumasi, this year group is sowing seeds of a different kind in Nkranza. They are proving that the networks built in our formative years can be the most fertile ground for national development. It is a story where fellowship is meeting farming, and the harvest looks to be one of jobs, growth, and renewed hope. Anna Sabit, Joy News, Nkranza.
And you're still live on Newsroom. My name is Sheila Sechin. More news right after this break. Stay with us. And you're still live on the Joy Newsroom. Now let's draw our focus to health. The Ministry of Health, in partnership with Africa CDC and African Medical Research Foundation, has completed vaccination of over 192,000 people under the Saving Lives and Livelihoods Phase 2 project, including 159,000 girls with the HPV vaccine, as well as thousands of pregnant women, health workers, and community members. The initiative, implemented with support from GHAG and GHS, utilized fixed, mobile, and outreach services to reach communities nationwide.
The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with Africa CDC and AMREF Health Africa, has convened key stakeholders in health in an experiential review meeting on Saving Lives and Livelihood Phase 2 project. Speaking at the event, AMREF West Africa Regional Manager Awa Dieng says the program used fixed, mobile, and outreach services to vaccinate over 192,000 people, including 159,000 girls with the HPV vaccine and thousands of pregnant women, health workers, and community members.
Today is not just about closing a chapter. It is about celebrating what we have achieved together and to acknowledge the dedication of every partner who has made this phase a success. Phase 2 has been a continuation of the commitments we made under Phase 1. Thanks to the collaboration between the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Services, Christian Health Association of Ghana, Africa CDC, AMREF, and other partners, we are closing this phase with concrete, impactful results. In the northern region, particularly in Tamale, SLL Phase 2 has helped deliver integrated immunization services through fixed, mobile, and advanced outreach strategies. Together, we reach over 192,000 people with essential vaccines, including 159,000 adolescent girls who received HPV vaccine, over 31,000 pregnant and lactating women, 188 health workers, and over 1,800 individuals from other priority groups.
She explained that these numbers represent real lives protected, girls shielded from cervical cancer, mothers and children safeguarded from preventable diseases, and communities strengthened through improved access to health services.
These are not just figures. They represent girls protected from cervical cancer, mothers and children safeguarded from preventable diseases, and communities strengthened through the trust and access.
The meeting also reviewed Ghana's progress under the SLL project and its contribution to building a more resilient and inclusive immunization system aligned with Africa's long-term health security.
Now, the Amazope Canopy walkway in the Volta region has been temporarily shut down following an incident on Wednesday involving one of the small exit pillars that supports a section of the structure. In a statement, management of the popular ecotourism site announced that the closure is a precautionary measure aimed at ensuring visitor safety, while a full investigation and structural assessment are carried out. According to officials, a combined team of local and international engineers has been employed or deployed to examine the affected pillar, evaluate the overall integrity of the walkway, and recommend the next steps required to restore the facility to safe operational standards. And now we'll take a statement from the management team of the Amazope Canopy walkway and read: the Amazope Canopy walkway is temporarily closed following an incident yesterday, which was on Wednesday, involving one of the small exit pillars. A precaution, the facility has been closed while a team of local and international engineers carries out a full structural assessment and guides the next steps. The walkway will remain closed until all safety requirements have been met and is deemed fully secure for public use. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and thank our cherished visitors and partners for understanding. Your safety remains our highest priority. And again, this is signed by the management team of the Amazope Canopy walkway. And now let's go to Cape Coast, where Ebura, a community within the Cape Coast metropolis, has entered a new phase of development with a coronation of its development queen. A ceremony marked by vibrant cultural display and a renewed pledge to accelerate community growth. Nana Abena Eyimba II, the newly installed development queen, announced a series of transformative initiatives, including educational scholarship programs and cultural promotion events in Finland, aimed at empowering the youth, enhancing community pride, and projecting Ebura onto the global cultural stage. There's more in this report.
And I am put to my action in the day or room to me, Yenina, Yakin Boma. Able to me, I am my Abra for Nintampa Efra.
In her maiden address as the development queen of Abra, Nanabne Yimba II pledged unwavering dedication to championing the development of the community.
My spirit did not just arrive here, it aligned with Abra, as though it has been waiting for this moment all along. Nearly 20 years ago, I used to volunteer for PPAG, where I started to grow the seeds of development. I may not return with vast riches, but I returned with something more enduring, knowledge and networks, and a platform that I'm wholly committed to using for the progress of our people. I am here, ready and devoted to work hand in hand with His Royal Majesty, Her Royal Highness, the elders, and the community.
She outlined several initiatives she intends to pursue in her new role, including promoting cultural visibility for the community in Finland.
With profound humility and renewed purpose, I am happy to announce the beginning of a new development era for ABRA, led through my office in Finland, which includes a continuous professional development course on a full scholarship, an SME donation of valuable items, a global digital magazine showcasing ABRA to attract international investors, already published on our website, a business exhibition desk in Finland to open doors of investments, which is scheduled on 25th of April 2025 in Finland as well. And we are going to host the first international cultural visibility event for ABRA and Africa in Finland, scheduled to take place on the 6th of June 2026, under the name ABRA Uprising. These are only the first steps, small flames lightening the path towards a radiant future.
The chief of ABRA, Nana Kujade II, assured the new queen of the community's full support as she embarks on her developmental agenda.
The goal that you set, which was reasserted by Michael and then broadened by a third, the ABRA community has been met. We want to assure you of our continued support wherever you are, wherever you will be, that ABRA community, the chief, the elders, the family members, and all the residents are solidly behind you. You cannot lead a people by yapping at their feet. You can only lead a people by being one of them. And this is exactly what you have done.
From ABRA, Abigail Lissel and Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Now, the new data from the Health Effects Institute show that 1 in 4 dementia deaths can now be linked to air pollution. Dementia, a group of brain disorders that cause memory loss, confusion and impaired thinking, is being recognized as one of the growing health threats linked to poor air quality. In a State of Global Air 2025 report produced that by Health Effects Institute in collaboration with the NCD Alliance, researchers found that air pollution-related dementia deaths have doubled in the last 2 decades alone. Pallavi Pant, head of global initiatives at the Health Effects Institute, says the finding highlights how the air we breathe is affecting not just our lungs, but our brains. She spoke with Clean Air Beat reporter Michael Ashale.
Yeah, so, if we think about the numbers to start off, what we report is that about 1 out of every 4 dementia deaths worldwide was because of exposure to air pollution in 2023. So that's a pretty big, very sizable contribution from air pollution, about a quarter of all dementia deaths coming from air pollution. We also see that the impacts tend to be higher in many Asian and African countries. Again, very consistent trend that we're seeing for everything else. What is perhaps worth highlighting here is that as our diagnostic tools and our understanding of these diseases improves, there's likely to be a greater focus. We have seen from other reports, not the State of Global Air report, but other works that have focused more on dementia in general, that there is reason to believe that in future the dementia rates might increase even further, partly because of air pollution, but of course there's other risk factors that significantly contribute to it. And then even in terms of mechanism of, often the question comes up, but how do you know that air pollution is the reason that this is happening? There has been fascinating research done looking at, brain tissue, trying to understand what really happens when you have air pollution exposure. And very consistently, research has shown that when we breathe in pollution, it of course goes into our lungs, but it can also cross into the bloodstream. It can cross the blood-brain barrier, cause inflammation in the brain tissue, which then triggers other pathways, which can result in damage to the brain tissue, eventually leading to development of, dementia and other diseases. So I would say at this stage, we have a lot of good evidence, hard evidence to show this linkage. But one gap that remains, and hopefully people that are reading this report and also listening to this conversation can pick up on some of it, is that we don't have enough data yet from Africa or from Asia or from low and middle income countries in general. So it also remains an active area of research to try and create better linkages or create better evidence that is local, can often be very impactful in trying to influence policy decisions as well.
Well, as excitement builds up ahead of the 2026 World Cup, Assistant Black Stars coach and former national team defender John Penstill has downplayed worries over Ghana's World Cup group, insisting it is premature to express fear or anxiety. Speaking after the draw, he said tournament football demands patience, focus and steady preparation rather than early alarm. According to him, the technical team remains confident that the Black Stars can compete effectively once camp begins and players settle into their roles. Stephen Mensah has the rest of the story.
It began with a familiar mix of anxiety and quiet hopefulness across the country. At the Polo Beach Club, many Ghanaians held their breath, some whispering quick prayers, all with one plea, that the Black Stars would avoid another unforgiving World Cup group. Assistant coach for the Black Stars, John Penstill, however, is urging calm. He says it is far too early for any sweeping conclusions about Ghana's chances and that the technical team is focused on preparation rather than predictions.
It's a group that is very tricky. It is a tricky group, a group that Ghanaians cannot underrate. Forget about the names. It's a tournament that we are going. So I believe it's a group that will bring the best out of the team. Looking at our performance during the qualification, it was a very fantastic. And looking at the players that we have a bunch of players who are equally very good, that can stand any task, which we believe that they are the players that we can put together, the players that can play to the highest level, even to be the final.
Beyond the draw itself, there's another concern, this time among supporters. There are lingering memories of 2010 and 2014 when sections of the supporters group did not return home after the tournament. The Ghana Supporters Union insists that this time those fears are unfounded, giving firm assurances about their conduct and their plans for the 2026 edition.
We went to Brazil 2014. We are here. It may be a rumor, if someone passed through an illegal way, I think definitely the person will be grabbed and pass through the process. But we are supporting Ghana. When Ghana go, we go. When it comes, we come.
And for the official sponsors of the tournament, their message goes beyond the pitch. Accra Brewery PLC says this World Cup is an opportunity to reinforce national pride and unity. Vanessa Crew, team lead for the marketing unit, says the company remains committed to backing the Black Stars and rallying the country behind them.
Club Beer has always been at the center of togetherness, has always been at the center of moments of celebrations, joy, unity. And so I can't think of anything else than Club, the #1 beer, being at the center of this moment where people are going to be sharing a lot of cheers, a lot of goals, a lot of whatever that the World Cup comes with. And you can enjoy the World Cup from the screen, but then sometimes it's amazing, experiencing it right at the stadium. And so it's just about being able to give someone the opportunity, or some people, you never know. We might just have some crazy announcement. It might not be one, it might not be two, you never know. But next year we'll be announcing at least how many people and how people get to also enter into the competition to be able to get the opportunity to get to watch the match in person.
Estimated 180 days for the test kickoff. Well, now we wait to see what the Black Stars will make of the team, the coaches, and the management. This time, if not to the finals, at least to the semi-finals. Reporting for Joy News, I'm Stephen Mensah.
Well, interesting and exciting days ahead of us. Trust us to bring you all the details as the days unfold. Well, to another interesting story, Charterhouse Ghana has launched an initiative to empower the country's youth with agricultural knowledge, aiming to tackle unemployment through food and farming education. The maiden edition of the Gastro Festival 2025, a food extravaganza, showcased diverse local cuisine and brought together industry experts, farmers and enthusiasts. Speaking to Robert Clark, lead PR, he emphasized the event's mission to inspire young Ghanaians to explore careers in agriculture. The Gastro Festival is more than just a food festival. It's a platform to educate and empower our youth. There is more in the following report.
The two-day event, described as Ghana's biggest food experience, featured panel discussions on food culture, sustainability and innovation. The second panel, moderated by the host of the Ghanaian Farmer Show, focused on empowering local players in the food value chain. One of the biggest highlights of the one was a cooking competition between Chef George and the twin musicians Lali and Lola, drawing cheers from patrons. Speaking to Joy Prime, the National Chef President expressed optimism about the future of Ghana's culinary industry.
For us as chefs, we are very excited that a department within our industry is coming up with this festival, and we, as soon as we get to hear of it, we supported the whole thing. But we see it becoming a very, very big festival, because if you travel elsewhere, you get to see how food industry has become. In fact, it is one of the biggest industry in the world when it comes to food, because everyone eats almost 3 or 2 times a day. So when it comes to food, we only see it growing and not shrinking.
Mrs. Okran of Springboard also encouraged young chefs and food entrepreneurs to take advantage of platforms like these.
I love the idea, because when you celebrate something, you throw attention to it. People are able to see where they can also play a role, and it increases people's not just the knowledge, it increases the knowledge, the skills, and then the passion to pursue fulfilling careers in that space. So I really love the concept of the program.
PR lead for Charterhouse, Robert Clark, explained that the Gastro Festival was created to celebrate Ghana's food ecosystem and to give patrons a unique culinary experience.
It's the need for a program like this to exist. Most of the time we focus more on the food, the eating, the fun, the chilling, but we wanted something that deals with the knowledge center as well, because there are specific things within the industry that needs our attention. And food, really, it's connected to everybody. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to eat safe food, and everybody needs to ensure that we are concerned about the food security. So when you have situations where things are being imported, meanwhile there's arable land and all of that, and you have a lot more of the younger folks who are not necessarily becoming inclined to agriculture, you want to be able to steer the ship into that particular space so you can inspire more folks to take interest in that particular space. So yes, so there are myriad of reasons, and all of these things have become necessary for us to want to step into the space, and we hope that we'll be able to contribute our quota to the agribusiness of this country.
Well, and that's how we wrap up this afternoon's bulletin of the Joy Newsroom. My name is Sheila Sechi. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. The law is up next with Sami. Stay with us.